Hello everyone, I'm Esoteric Essa, astrologer, numerologist, intuitive psychic, and I'm here with your November 8th Taurus lunar eclipse analysis. This is an astrology analysis and astro prediction for the Taurus full moon happening November 8th based off of Tropical Placidus astrology. I promise you I feel better than I sound. I am under the weather, but I still had to get this message out. In front of you is the chart for today's eclipse. You'll notice it's a full moon, of course, so that means the sun and moon are in opposing sides of the sky. Therefore, the moon is in Taurus at 12 degrees. The sun is in Scorpio at 15 degrees, as you'll notice at the bottom of the chart. What most folks are not speaking upon, for whatever reason, with this eclipse is the very big stelliums that are going against each other. The stellium of a Mercury, combust sun, Venus, Cazimi sun in Scorpio. Mercury at 15 degrees, Sun 15 degrees, Venus 19 degrees, creating a combust Cazimi stellium. And at the top of the chart, the moon is creating a stellium with the North Node and Uranus. This is really important. I have labeled this transmission the activation of the Ascension codes of Goddess Ishtar, Goddess Isis, Goddess Inan, and all of her beautiful names. And we're going to get into why exactly we're focusing on that consciousness. That is the consciousness that came forward to me in channeling this astrology. And it's very integral with what is going on here in the States. Excuse me, mispronouncing her name. Inanna is also the goddess of love and fertility and is symbolically connected to rain and thunderstorms. Well, I'm at in Los Angeles, California. Today it is raining. So that was a further omen and sign from Ishtar, Goddess Isis, that she is cleansing and helping purge the old paradigm of the distorted masculine, distorted feminine energies. Also, this eclipse is activating the consciousness of Antares, the Antares starseed consciousness. Okay, so there's so much happening with this eclipse. The fact that it's, voting for us in the States is happening on the eclipse makes this a literal ritual. We are performing a literal ritual, one of the most profound rituals. And the numerology today is so important because today is an 8-day, November 8th, and Isis, Goddess Isis Ishtar, is associated with the number 8, specifically the 8-pointed star. 11/08/2022 is an 8 vibration, making it a 16 universal day, which is the Tower card in the Tarot. And that is further reduced down to a 7, which is the Chariot card in Tarot. The Chariot card in Tarot has 2 sphinx in front of the chariot, a black and a white sphinx, and those represent the sun and the moon, the duality of consciousness, the polarity of the light and the dark, and it represents progression. When the chariot appears, this is about war, and this is about championing and overcoming defeat. Ishtar is usually depicted by a crescent moon. Her image has evolved over time because not only was she influential to the Sumerians, the Babylonians, the Egyptians, eventually she was the archetype inspiration for Aphrodite for the Greeks. Ishtar also is connected to the beast, the lion. And Lilith, the dark feminine in the sky in this eclipse, is at 1 degree of Leo, the beast, the lion. And Ishtar is all about embracing the inner beast to conquer the outer beast. Hence, again, finding the inner courage and the drive to overcome obstacles and challenges. So although in the 3D reality, this seems very, very dense, it's very, very real. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of trauma occurring, a lot of fear. Please know that we're rooting in a new timeline. We're creating a new dimension, and we have to hold our ground and stand firm with the consciousness, the higher consciousness that we are meant to bring into this earthly realm to save Pachamama, to save Mother Earth, really to save humanity, because Scorpio is symbolic of death. It's literal or symbolic. And literally what we do with the climate crisis is also going to tell us of where we are with human consciousness, of how will we evolve or be able to hold on to human consciousness here in the earthly realm. Will we be our own demise? As many are aware, today are midterm elections, and the two biggest themes this election that is being focused on are, of course, abortion and inflation. And the way we show up at the polls is going to tell us as a nation where our priorities truly lie. Are we fixated more on the inflation, or do we care more about body autonomy and healing the feminine energy in the collective? When planets are that close to the sun, when they're combust or cazimi, it creates a powerhouse. And the moon is anchoring this stellium with the opposition in the sky. Venus, which is 4 degrees away from the sun, represents femininity, our bodies, organs of procreation, as it sits in Scorpio. Scorpio represents organs of procreation, represents the 5 senses, our desires. The sun here is bringing amplified awareness around those matters. Hence, rights for women, femmes, people who bleed, people with uteruses. And with Mercury at almost an exact conjunct, 15 degrees, with the sun 15 degrees, this is also amplifying thoughts and philosophy to change. All of this happening in Scorpio is bringing up, as we know, Scorpio themes of darkness, secrecy, taboo, hidden, sex, death, the occult. So although the moon is in Taurus, conjunct the North Node in Uranus, this is grounding this energy and this consciousness for us, because Taurus is the land, Taurus is agriculture, Taurus is the Empress, our 3D reality. And the moon here is representative of Ishtar, goddess Isis, activating the codes of Isis, Ishtar, Enon, Esther, with the moon under her feet. The message that came through was that Ishtar, goddess Isis, represents war, love, femininity, fertility, the moon, magic, politics, power, among many things. And she has been awakened. Actually, Ishtar, originally rooted as Inan is a Sumerian goddess, and that consciousness sprouted from a less patriarchal consciousness and era in time, BC. Next year, with Saturn moving into Pisces and Pluto moving into Aquarius, we're going to see a heightened themes around spirituality, spiritual extremism, spiritual liberation, body autonomy, free speech, anti-groupthink. There's always duality. There's always the toss of the coin. But this final eclipse in 2022 will loop us back into the next eclipse happening 2023 May 5th, which will be a Scorpio lunar eclipse. And the moon and the sun in that eclipse transit will be at 14 degrees, whereas the one today is at 15 degrees. Ishtar is celebrated literally during Easter time, during Aries season. Next year, the eclipses go back and forth between Scorpio, Taurus, Aries, and Libra. When it comes to winning a war, of course, there has to be some, losses. I'm being very delicate with my language because I want to make sure that this doesn't get dinged. So although we may not win every single battle with this midterm election, we will win the overall mission. On a final note, Antares has activated and imprinted the codes of Goddess Isis and the codes of the Flower of Life over the pyramids of Giza for Sirius, our true galactic sun, to open up the portal of this new consciousness that we are imprinting not only today but in 2023, because eclipse energies last on a 6-month karmic cycle. So by April of next year, we will see a lot more falling and destruction of injustices and the powers that be, the karmic scales finally leveling out. The consciousness of Goddess Isis and Ishtar will help root and ground in this timeline the sacred feminine and the rights of the sacred feminine. So with all of that being said, I share this message to give hope, to know that yes, not everything will go perfectly as planned. There has to be some chaos. But before healing can transcend, there must be pain. So please remember that you are manifesting at an all-time high today with this eclipse. I ask you to remember that you are the speed of light. Your thoughts are the speed of light. Your heartbeat is the speed of light. Your intentions are casted out at the speed of light. We cannot bring fear into the new timeline. We do not spiritually bypass, but we understand when we create new dimensions, we must bring in new versions of ourselves. I leave you with this: as above, so below. May you manifest wisely.